Rising over the Detroit River, the Gordie Howe International Bridge is a $6.4 billion symbol of connection between Windsor, Ontario, and Detroit, Michigan. Its massive steel arches and sweeping cables are not just feats of engineering. They represent a vision of unity, progress, and shared prosperity for two nations whose destinies are deeply intertwined. It's designed to be the future of North American trade, easing the bottleneck of the aging, privately owned Ambassador Bridge. Every day, thousands of trucks crawl across the old span, carrying auto parts, food, and goods that fuel both economies. The new bridge aims to transform this daily grind into a seamless flow, promising faster, more reliable connections for businesses and families on both sides. The new bridge promises a century of prosperity, built on the idea that the US and Canada are stronger together. It's a testament to decades of cooperation, with workers, engineers, and leaders from both countries joining forces to create something bigger than themselves, a literal and figurative bridge to the future. But as construction nears completion, a political storm threatens its promise. Uncertainty looms, casting a shadow over the optimism that once defined the project. Former President Donald Trump has proposed steep tariffs, up to 25% on Canadian imports. These tariffs, if enacted, could upend the delicate balance that keeps trade flowing smoothly across the border. These aren't just numbers. They could choke the flow of trucks and trade the bridge was built to support. Delays at the border could ripple through supply chains, raising prices and threatening jobs on both sides. If tariffs take hold, this grand project could become a costly, underused corridor. What was meant to be a lifeline for commerce could instead stand as a monument to missed opportunity. The stakes are enormous. Millions of jobs and entire communities depend on this cross-border relationship. From auto workers in Windsor to small business owners in Detroit, livelihoods hang in the balance, tied to the fate of this bridge. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer is sounding the alarm, warning of a looming crisis that could damage both economies. She's urging leaders to find common ground before it's too late. The bridge's fate now hangs in the balance, caught between hope and the threat of a trade war. Its future is uncertain, and the world is watching to see what will happen next. It's more than a bridge. It's a test of one of the world's most successful partnerships. The choices made here will echo for generations, shaping how these two nations work together. Will it be a monument to cooperation, or a casualty of political conflict? The answer will reveal whether unity can triumph over division. The answer will shape the future of North American trade, determining whether borders become barriers or bridges to opportunity. The continent stands at a crossroads, its next steps poised to define an era of either renewed partnership or deepening divide. The Gordie Howe International Bridge is North America's most ambitious public works project in a generation. Funded by Canada, it features the continent's longest cable-stayed span and state-of-the-art border facilities. The need is clear. The Ambassador Bridge, built nearly a century ago, can't handle today's trade volume. 1/4 of US-Canada merchandise trade crosses here. Any disruption ripples across the continent. The new bridge is designed for resilience, ensuring this vital artery stays open. Its success depends on robust cross-border commerce. Tolls from trucks and cars are meant to pay back the $6.4 billion investment. But if trade slows, Canada could be left with a costly, underused asset. The bridge's future is tied directly to the health of US-Canada trade. Its opening is meant to mark a new era, if politics don't get in the way. A US-Canada trade war once seemed unthinkable, but it's now a real risk. Trump's proposed 25% tariffs on Canadian goods have alarmed business and government leaders on both sides. Michigan Governor Whitmer calls the tariffs unjustified, warning they'll hurt American workers and consumers. Michigan's economy is deeply linked to Canada. Tariffs would raise costs for US companies and families. The uncertainty alone is already chilling investment and growth. The Gordie Howe Bridge is set to open just as this trade dispute could peak. If tariffs slash truck traffic, toll revenue will plummet, turning the bridge into a costly white elephant. What was meant to unite could become a symbol of a broken partnership. The timing couldn't be worse for North American trade. The bridge's promise is at risk before it even opens. The threat is real, and the consequences could be lasting. Nowhere is the US-Canada partnership more vital than in the auto industry. For decades, this cross-border collaboration has fueled innovation, created millions of jobs, and kept North America at the forefront of automotive manufacturing. Detroit and Windsor's factories operate as one seamless unit, with parts and components crossing the border multiple times before a single car is finished. This intricate dance of logistics and teamwork is the backbone of the industry. Tariffs would shatter this delicate system, raising costs at every step and threatening thousands of jobs on both sides of the border. The ripple effects would be felt far beyond the factory floor. Stellantis recently idled its Windsor minivan plant, exposing just how fragile these cross-border supply chains can be when disrupted, and how quickly uncertainty can spread through the industry. If tariffs become permanent, shutdowns could multiply, devastating entire communities that rely on auto jobs for their livelihoods. Local economies would suffer, and the social fabric of these towns could unravel. Governor Whitmer warns that tariffs hurt American workers just as much as Canadians, emphasizing that this is not just a Canadian problem, it's a shared North American crisis. Higher costs mean pricier cars for consumers, lower sales for dealerships, and more layoffs for workers. The entire supply chain, from factory to showroom, feels the impact. The integrated supply chain is North America's competitive edge. Disrupting it hands a significant advantage to foreign competitors who are eager to fill the gap. Automakers may look elsewhere for stability, hollowing out the region's industrial base and sending good-paying jobs overseas, leaving communities behind. The risk is clear. Tariffs could unravel a century-old economic engine that has powered growth and prosperity for generations. The auto sector's future, and the livelihoods of thousands of families, hang in the balance, waiting for decisions that will shape their fate. The stakes are not theoretical. They're already being felt in lost jobs, shuttered plants, and families forced to uproot their lives. The threat is immediate and real, demanding urgent action to protect the future of North American auto manufacturing. Michigan's economy is built on trade with Canada. Billions in goods, hundreds of thousands of jobs. Tariffs would strike at the heart of this relationship, raising costs for businesses and families overnight. A Michigan furniture maker importing Canadian lumber would face instant price hikes, threatening survival. Multiply that across thousands of businesses, and the entire region slows. Fewer jobs, higher prices, stalled growth. The Gordie Howe Bridge is a barometer for this partnership. If trucks stop crossing, the problem is much bigger than an empty bridge. Uncertainty is already making businesses hesitate to invest or hire. Governor Whitmer is urging Washington to avoid a downward spiral. For Michigan and Ontario, economic stability isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. The bridge's success depends on a healthy, stable trade relationship. The warning signs are flashing. The time to act is now. Trade wars often have unintended consequences, and in this case, one of the biggest winners could be China. While the intention behind tariffs is to protect domestic industries, the ripple effects can sometimes benefit foreign competitors instead. Governor Whitmer argues that tariffs on Canadian goods make North American products more expensive for everyone, which in turn gives Chinese imports a significant competitive edge in the marketplace. This shift can be seen across a range of industries. If it suddenly costs 25% more to move auto parts between Michigan and Ontario, American-assembled cars become less affordable and less attractive, losing ground to Asian rivals, who can offer lower prices. Instead of strengthening U.S. manufacturing, these tariffs could actually push companies to source more parts from China, or even relocate entire production lines overseas, undermining local jobs and investment. And this isn't just about the auto industry. Every sector that relies on cross-border supply chains, from electronics to agriculture, feels the impact of these trade barriers. The US and Canada, when working together, are much stronger competitors against China. But when divided by tariffs, both countries become weaker and more vulnerable to global competition. A trade war between close allies is more than just an economic dispute. It's a strategic gift to global rivals who are eager to fill the gap. The real challenge for North America is competing with China's rapidly growing industries, not with each other. Breaking apart North American supply chains only cedes valuable ground to others, making it harder to keep up in the global market. The focus should be on unity and collaboration, not on creating new divisions that weaken both sides. The real risk is losing the global race by fighting the wrong battle, one that distracts from the true competition. In the end, the stakes are global, not just local. The decisions made today will shape the future of international trade and economic power for years to come. In uncertain times, leaders like Governor Whitmer call for a return to stable trade rules. The Canada-US-Mexico Agreement, CUSMA-USMCA, was designed to provide predictability for trillions in cross-border trade. Diplomacy, not tariffs, is the way to resolve disputes between allies. The agreement has built-in mechanisms for negotiation and compromise. Threatening tariffs undermines business confidence and the spirit of partnership. Restoring faith in the trade pact would reassure markets and encourage investment. The call is for collaboration, not conflict. Every partnership has friction, but established tools exist to manage it. The choice: follow the roadmap of CUSMA, USMCA, or risk the chaos of a trade war. North America's prosperity depends on choosing stability. Beyond numbers, a trade war hits real people: factory workers, truck drivers, small business owners, and farmers. For a Michigan auto worker, tariffs could mean layoffs. For an Ontario trucker, fewer loads and less income. In border cities like Detroit and Windsor, families and friends are connected across the river. A trade war breeds division, undermining decades of cooperation and shared community. Most Americans see Canada as a friend, not a threat. Policies that create conflict are out of step with public sentiment. The uncertainty causes stress, delays life decisions, and erodes optimism. The hidden cost is psychological: lost security and peace of mind. Protecting the US-Canada relationship is about more than economics. It's about preserving the well-being of millions of ordinary people. The stakes are personal, not just political. The human cost is too high to ignore. The Gordie Howe International Bridge stands as a symbol of either renewed partnership or missed opportunity. The choice is clear: collaboration and stability, or conflict and decline. The stakes go beyond Michigan and Ontario. They affect the entire continent. Leaders like Governor Whitmer urge recommitment to trade agreements and dialogue over tariffs. The US and Canada are partners, not rivals, in a competitive world. The decisions made now will shape North America's future for decades. Stable trade isn't just about economics. It's about preserving a strategic alliance. The friendship between the US and Canada is too valuable to risk. The bridge's story is a reminder: we are stronger together. The hope is that leaders choose connection over conflict, ensuring the bridge fulfills its promise.